Welcome to the Queen City, first of all.
Thank you.
But you're from Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
How does a guy from Maryland become a country artist?
There's quite a music scene in Maryland between folk and R&B up in Baltimore and whatnot, and country in Southern Maryland. It's got a lot of musical history there.
Where, if people are watching and they've never been to Maryland, they're about to go,
Yeah.
where do we got to go to get crab cakes?
Okay. So, Baltimore, you can get a good crab cake. Annapolis, you can. I don't eat seafood unless I pull it out of the water. There's nothing like a fresh bushel of crabs that you steam that night, and it's...
Chef's kiss?
Chef's kiss.
You moved out at a very young age into your own apartment. How did that influence your songwriting and your artistry?
Apartment's a very strong word. My family is kind of all located in 65, which was a horse farm, and they boarded race horses for the racetrack that was 5 miles up the road. That thing was a party barn. It was my uncle's room, my father's. A lot of inspiration from that place, man. There's just some mojo when you walk in there and you're like, oh, okay, I can get down here. I started writing a lot of Greenbrook while I was in there, including the song Greenbrook.
Let's talk about that guitar next to you.
I started doing this probably when I was 15, 16. It's just another expression of art, really. So the bit is just a ball, and then that heats up. But yeah, man, it's a fun pastime, and it makes them look less plain.
Do you do karaoke? And what is the go-to song?
The last one that we did was in San Antone at like 1:30 in the morning after a show. Me and my day-to-day manager hop up and we do Colt 45.
Colt 45 and 2 zigzags. Baby, that's all we need. Come on.
Word for word.
Wow.
Drop the mic and then walk out.
What comes first, Jackson, the melody or the lyrics?
It can happen both ways sometimes. Here's a perfect example. Last night, I laid down, had this little melody in my head and pulled out your phone and do it. But I have no words for it. It's just a little run, you know? And then Don't Come Looking, for example, that was all off the words. And sometimes when you have the guitar in your hand, you have to let chords take you to a certain place to where you can even be in a headspace to spit words out, you know?
You've toured with some amazing people, some legends, Brooks and Dunn, Blake Shelton, the list goes on and on. Who is on your country music Mount Rushmore?
I'd have to say Cash Whalen. Ronnie Dunn was really influential to me. That was one of the first songs I ever sang on stage, was The Cost of Living off of his solo record. You know, all of those attitudes rolled into one.
Speaking of attitude, your debut single was called Don't Come Looking. What happens if you come looking?
It depends on who you are.
Can't say a word and I can't say a word, and if I don't come back, don't come a looking.
That song really came from my mom. So we grew up on the edge of a massive floodplain. But I used to run around there as a kid. It was just a smart aleck thing between her and I of, if I don't come back, don't come looking for me. And it just resurfaced like years later in the room with Luke, my producer, and we wrote that thing down in about an hour, man. But no, that's just get the hell out of Dodge and go clear your own head.
And who would have thought?
Yeah.
Then it went on Yellowstone.
Yeah, and she loves Costner, and she's just like, when am I gonna meet Kev? When am I gonna meet Kev?
If you had a character in Yellowstone, what is your character like? What's Jackson Dean like on Yellowstone?
Brutal. I think I'd just have to probably play a villain, you know, maniacal of sorts, you know. But no, I definitely have to be a bad guy.
A bad guy with a head full of noise, which is the name of your tour. What's in your head? What kind of noise?
I'm gonna find out on stage tonight.